After 10 years of doing this job, I think you know the type of cars that turn me on. Yes, unashamedly, I love cars that love to be driven and driven hard. Cars that come to life on the edge. This week though, we're going to revisit a car that really challenged my purest performance car views. So it blew my mind, and now it's blown its top. In 2012, BMW showed us the concept Spider, a car that was designed to never go into production. I mean, I'm baffled. Most sports cars are built from the ground up, from day one, to be a roadster. McLaren has done it, other manufacturers have followed suit. And what they normally do is bring out the coupe, and soon after comes out the Spider, Roadster, convertible, call it what you like, because most consumers will gravitate towards that. Now, BMW's i8 has been on the market for 5 years, and only now are they bringing us the Roadster. You know why? Well, according to BMW, they say that their CFRP Life, the carbon fiber tub, the backbone of the i8, was not designed to work without a hardtop. Really? I mean, carbon fiber is pretty special stuff.
Carbon fiber starts off being made as a roving or as a strand or as a yarn. It's this filament that you see here. They then take it and weave it into various weaves. So this would be a plain weave where it's just stuck to a normal weaving machine and it's woven. They can also make it into a unidirectional fiber where the fibers all run in one direction, or they stitch the fiber together in this form where this yarn gets laid down in the weaving machine and then they stitch through it. The advantage of this is that for very complex body shapes, this is the perfect fabric to use. You save weight and you optimize your strength and the orientation of the fibers. So if you're making the body of a car, then you'd use predominantly your biaxial fabrics, which controls the torsion of the whole body. Once all the fibers have been packed into a mold in the right orientation, they are then vacuum bagged and then they infuse epoxy resin. It's then normally stuck into an oven and cured.
Now, do you see why I'm puzzled? Why would removing this tiny piece of hardtop create structural challenges for a car that is built out of carbon fiber? But anyway, once BMW gave the project the green lights and it passed its crash test, the real challenge lay ahead for the designers and the engineers. And I think this is probably the most impressive part of the car, is how it's built. Of course, firstly, it had to make financial sense. Their production plant in Leipzig made low volume production possible by integrating the Roadster production into the regular i8 production line without the need for special tooling. They then designed a folding soft top, both for purist appeal and a necessary weight-saving requirement. Sticking to their futuristic theme, they've even used 3D printing to produce a metal component in the folding roof structure. The vertical folding Z-shaped roof can open in 15 seconds and at speeds of up to 50 kilometers an hour. And of course, the butterfly doors had to stay, so BMW had to design some special hinges. The coupe is class leading in terms of aerodynamics, so the clever people had to redesign the airflow for open top driving to achieve an impressive 0.28 drag coefficient in the Roadster. Part of that redesign was also sealing the front air vents and then redirecting the hot air from the radiator to exit behind the front wheels. Something as simple as this, a speaker cover has to be tweaked when it's suddenly getting bombarded by wind at high speed. So they've come up with a clever little fix. A special fabric's been laid over the mesh to do away with any unnecessary wind noise. So I have a P rating scale for assessing sports cars. Practicality is not one of those P's. I mean, the i8 Roadster, you could probably fit a laptop bag in the boot, and because there's a plug-in hybrid, you can't be running your charging cable across your townhouse complex floor. So you are going to need a garage that has a plug point. I know, first world problems. Also with sports cars, the doors always open really wide. Our i8 has those beautiful beautiful butterfly doors, which makes it a bit of a problem because I now can't get into the car. But I suppose if I am paying 2.3 million rand for my sports car, I can just build myself a new garage that has a plug and more space. This is beautiful. Talk about an entry. But when you are finally in, trust me, you're not going to want to leave. The interior is just such a lovely modern space. I love it. And what I particularly enjoy in this model is the way that they've linked the interior with the exterior. It is fabulous. I've got a challenge for you. Find me a sports car that can give you this. 0.5 liters per 100. Yep, that is what I got on the commute to work this morning. With the new uprated battery, it's more powerful. You've actually got a range of 60 kilometers, and if you choose to drive in full EV mode, you can reach speeds of up to 120 kilometers an hour. But that is not what the i8 is about. It is not an EV. It is a performance hybrid. The seamless integration between the 1.5 litre 3-cylinder petrol engine driving the rear and the 76 kilowatt electric motors driving the front wheels is the real genius of this car. The Roadster comes out with the uprated power that was recently introduced on the i8 Coupe. So you've got 275 kilowatts combined. I know it doesn't sound like very much, but don't forget the i8 weighs under 1.6 tons. It is super light. It feels a lot quicker than the claimed 0 to 100 time of 4.6 seconds. I don't know how to explain it. It's almost like a tidal surge. It's just this relentless push. The biggest complaint that people had with the i8 was the fact that it used to understeer. With the instantaneous nature of the electric power delivery coming onto the front wheels, so they have changed the shocks as well as the anti-roll bar to try and counter that natural tendency, and it really does feel so good through the bends. I love the chassis on this car. It is so perfectly balanced, and it is a different driving style. It's not a point and squirt. You want to carry speed in this car. I really enjoy it. What a beautiful car to drive. But where the Roadster scores its biggest P rating from me is in the pull factor. I mean, seriously, take a look at this car. It has presence aplenty. You know, when we drove the Coupe back then, it was the car that turned the most heads for us. And that's just continued now they've taken the top down. In actual fact, the cool thing is you can now literally see the extent of the neck whips as you drive on by. It is a thing of beauty. But why doesn't it sell? I'll tell you why. Because the i8 and the Roadster, they're ahead of their time. The consumers that are buying cars in this segment, they haven't even woken up yet. They want to see their big block engine displayed, not a 1500 3-cylinder that's hidden. They want to be heard before they're seen. They want performance that they don't even know how to unleash. The i8 is a sports car that's dressed like a supercar, and its pricing similarly puts it in a no man's land. And it's a real pity because I absolutely love this car. You know, it is effortless in the city. Its immediacy of the power delivery makes it feel so much faster than it really is. I guess like it took BMW a few years to get their heads around the i8 as a Roadster, consumers clearly still need time to appreciate that a sports car can be a 1500 hybrid. Its time will come.